Welcome to episode 19 of Overtime with Jared P. and Johnny O, our last episode of the year. Let's get started with the Power Five, and we're going to play a game of who do you trust more at quarterback? We'll have two different quarterbacks head to head. Who do you trust more in a big game or in the playoffs? All right, Johnny O, lead us off with your Power Five.
Okay. It has been a really cool season, hasn't it? I mean, this has been one
Yeah.
of the better NFL seasons. My number five in the Power Five, Buffalo Bills. They're at number five. If Josh Allen can be Josh Allen, they are a legit Super Bowl contender, I believe, as long as he can do that. So, I mean, I got to keep them in that top five, and they are playing some serious football. I like them, but then a couple times I'm thinking, are they going to get by KC? Are they going to get by Baltimore? Josh Allen has to be the guy, and if he's got a sore ankle, a sore knee, or whatever, it's going to be a problem for the Buffalo Bills. But as of right now, he's healthy and he is a monster, so I got him at five. My number four, Detroit Lions. Still can win it all, but I'm a little worried about their health. I mean, as the weeks go on, we shall see. I know they're playing tonight against San Francisco, and that game against Minnesota next whenever they play, I think Sunday night or Monday night.
Sunday, yeah.
For the number one seed in the NFC. I mean, NFL couldn't ask for anything better than that. So I got Detroit at number four because I have Minnesota at number three. I don't know if you watched them yesterday, but they are a football team, man. Total believer in Sam Darnold. I mean, the guy threw for 400 yards yesterday in a big game. Made Green Bay look a little silly for, 50 minutes of the game, but then Green Bay came back. I got to give Green Bay credit. They did come back, but Minnesota outclassed them. They really did, and they came to play. So my number three is the Minnesota Vikings, and they are legitimate. They could win the damn Super Bowl, no doubt about it. All these teams could. Number two, Kansas City Chiefs. I did drop them down to two from number one from last week. Still, they are peaking at the right time. They're a great team. They're defending champions. Their last 3 weeks or so, they have looked like the Kansas City Chiefs that we're used to the past 2 years when they won Super Bowls. But I had to drop them down number two because, I got this under the Christmas tree this year, and it's my official coach's hat of the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay.
Is that similar to getting Cole?
You know how happy I was when I saw. Look, it's official. It's got it's what the coaches wear. I feel like a coach right now, man. But I know they had a little blip last week against your Commanders, and we had, Jalen went out and all that kind of good stuff. But they came back. Kansas City. The Dallas Cowboys have been playing some pretty good football the last couple of weeks. We ended up with our third string quarterback in there, and we demolished them, to secure that number two seed. So I'm very happy with the number two seed, and I still all around team. When Jalen comes back, and he probably could have played this past week. They're holding him out. I do have a question for you in a second. When they are healthy, and they are healthy, they're the best overall football team in the NFL right now. They should be the favorites for the Super Bowl because they have that defense. They're still only giving up on the average 17 or 18 points a game, and they got Saquon Barkley. Okay, Saquon got his 2,000 yards. He's at 2,005 or whatever. I know the record. He needs another 105 or 110 yards. I want him sitting on his ass next week. I do not want him playing. I can't imagine. I would love for him to get the record. I don't think he's really big on the record, but I think he's happy he got that 2,000 yards because that's a milestone anyway. But can you imagine if he plays the first half against the Giants? He's got 72 yards, and he goes for a 20-yard run or whatever and does something, whatever, an ankle, knee, ass bone, I don't know, whatever happens to him, if he gets hurt, Coach Sirianni would be assassinated immediately on the
Yeah.
field by every Philadelphia fan. So I do
Right.
want him to sit out. What do you think? Do you think he should go for the record or sit out and
No,
play?
no,
Good.
no.
Yep.
It's not worth the risk. I mean, it is tough the NFL because, or in any sport, you can get hurt at any time, but
Yeah.
they have nothing to gain as a team. And last I checked, it's a team sport. And also, let's be clear here. Eric Dickerson did it in 16 games, not
Yeah.
17 games. It's not his fault. He got 2,000 yards in 16 games, only one of nine backs in the history of the NFL to do it. It's a great accomplishment. I think if Saquon played, there's some games where they were blowing out teams during their 11-game winning streak, and Sirianni's like, "Hey, do you want to stay in the game?" He said, "No, let the young guy get." So he would have already broke the record, in my
Yep.
opinion. 30 yards here, 30 yards there for over a handful of games that he sat out early because of large leads. To me, I mean, he's the best running back in NFL currently. Obviously, he and Derrick Henry, but
Yep.
no, it's not worth it. I mean, what? Let's say he gets the record, but he gets banged up and he's limping into the postseason, and you don't win the Super Bowl, or don't go
Oh,
to it.
no,
it,
not
People
worth it.
remember him more as a Super Bowl champion than that.
Absolutely. And everybody will remember if he's a Super Bowl champion, they're going to remember the season he has had, man. I mean, he has
Yeah.
been, he's probably still probably MVP if this all works out. So, and he's the kind of guy that won't do it for the record. He'll do it for the team. So I'm in love with that. And so Philly's my number one team. And I want to hear your Power Five, man. And I'm hoping Buffalo is in it by now.
Well, let's do my Power Five. Johnny, you're going to be very happy. Buffalo is out, and they're
No,
still out. Who do they
gosh,
play? Who do they play?
they're
The
13 and
Jets.
3.
Aaron Rodgers played half the game. The Jets are a dumpster fire. And
Oh,
then
they
last
are.
week they snuck by. And winning's winning. We've said that the whole time. They snuck by a terrible Patriots team.
I
I mean,
got
their
you.
last three games are the weakest. They have the easiest schedule for the rest of the season. It's not their fault that their division has fallen apart. Uh, I don't believe in the Bills. I just don't. I love Josh Allen. I don't think he's the MVP. I don't even think he's top two in the MVP race. I have him at number four. I
Okay,
know we're not doing that this week. And it's if you go by the numbers, you would have uh, Lamar Jackson. To me, it's his first year he's actually earned MVP. I mean, his
right,
numbers, you can't debate them. I mean, passing, rushing yards, low interceptions, high total touchdowns, and they won their division. Then I would have. I just want to sneak this in, I guess. Then I would have Saquon Barkley at number
good.
two, but he
Yep,
won't. There would be no chance. They no respect to running backs. Although look at their team's fortunes with him. Jalen Hurts has had a down year. They've changed Jalen Hurts even the way he plays. I mean, some games he throws 15 times, some games he throws 20 times. The less
right,
he throws, the more y'all win. Who would
right.
have thought that?
Well, running game. Yep.
And the Giants, their GM is now famous for saying, "Well, what are we going to do next year? Well, we're not going to hand the ball off to a $12 million running back." He said that.
Yeah.
Talking about Saquon Barkley. Anyway, so I'd have number two. At number three, I'd have Joe Burrow with incredible stats and numbers, and they still have a chance to make the playoffs. And at number four, I'd have Jaden Daniels over Josh Allen.
Right.
Jaden
Okay.
Daniels is the most clutch quarterback in the NFL when trailing and in the fourth quarter in overtime.
He's real.
Statistically,
He's real.
statistically, and he took a 4-13 team to a team that might go 12-5. Anyway, I don't. It sounds like I hate Josh Allen. I don't. But yeah. Anyway, so
Okay.
Buffalo's out.
That's good opinion. Good. I mean, hey, you got good reason to believe in that. And I do like your Jaden Daniel take because I mean, we're 16 games in now. The kid is he's far from being a rookie anymore, man.
He's definitely rookie of the year. Is not even close. He's going to be a Pro Bowler, and he should get at least a couple of MVP votes. I'm not saying he should be MVP, but there's a case for it. If you look statistically, there's a case for the advanced numbers. Anyway, so at number five, I would have the Green Bay Packers. I still believe in them. The Green Bay
Really?
Packers looked really bad for 3 quarters plus, and then they come down and they lose by 2 points to a very good Minnesota team.
No
I mean,
doubt.
anyone else would take a 2 point loss to Minnesota. Yes, granted, they look bad for most of the game. They have Josh Jacobs. They have Jordan Love, who typically doesn't make mistakes. This is a roster that's good on both sides of the ball. I like them a lot at number 5.
Let me tell you
Um,
something real quick. Let me interrupt. If the season ended today and the playoffs were all set, the Eagles will be playing Green Bay, and that was the first game of the season. They would be playing them first game in the playoffs as an Eagle. I mean, look at from 1 to 7 in the NFC is crazy good. Okay, well 1 to 8 or whatever it is. But we would have to play Green Bay. They scare
yeah,
the hell out of me, man.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. At number 4, and you might be surprised by this, is the Washington Commanders. Who wants to play them? Do you want to play them at this point? There's not a call that they're not willing to make. Do you know Jaden Daniels on fourth downs is 8 for 8 on the season? He's 100%. He hasn't, as
Okay.
far as not converting fourth downs, when passing on fourth down, and they've done 4th and 2, 4th and 10, 4th and 11, 4th and 13. He's 8 for 8. He has like 75 yards rushing. There's not a play that they won't call with him. Their defense is improving. That's their weak spot. Their secondary is their weak spot. I think this team is dangerous and they're getting more confident, and that's what you want them to be ascending. That's why Buffalo out. Yes, they blew out a terrible Jets team. They look bad against the Patriots. And Josh Allen, 2 combined weeks, he has a total of under 300 yards passing. Not sure what's happening on my screen, but it must be a green report. I didn't touch anything. Not sure. But he so I'm like, is there an injury issue that we're not seeing here? You said something about his arm last week. He was injured, elbow or shoulder. So he has like 290 yards passing combined last 2 weeks. That's not MVP talk, and that does not give me when he plays legit teams
Can
in the
can
playoffs.
can you move on and leave the Buffalo Bills alone, please? My
All right.
gosh. I
And
mean,
I don't hate, and it's funny thing, I have nothing against them. I think they'd be good. If they won a Super Bowl, I'd be so happy because it's like they're the one
yep.
franchise that I think I would love to see. But I can't, I'm just tired of it's the bandwagon approach to the Bills that drives me crazy. All right. Sorry. I know we're trying to make this a little more pithy. All right. At number 3, Detroit Lions, because of the injuries, right? At number
Yep.
2, I have it flipped. At number 2, the Eagles. I love the fact that the Eagles' strength is their defense is scary. They did turn over Washington 5 times, and just through sheer tyranny of will by Jaden Daniels and other some fortunate things too, we were able to pull that out the last second. And also Jalen Hurts being out. Let's be honest.
Yep.
I'm worried about Jalen Hurts' health. If for some reason he's more susceptible, and we do know people are more susceptible to concussions typically after having one, especially
He's
recently.
he's fine. He could have played this past week.
No,
That's
he's
what
going to
that's
play, but
my insiders are telling me that, man.
oh
He's
yeah.
he is fine.
Well, he has another week to rest,
Yep.
right? But then they also have to go on the road. I mean, so and so then my number one team, the Chiefs, are playing better than ever right now. And the strength of their team is, besides Patrick Mahomes, is their defense.
Yep.
They're the Philadelphia Eagle defense of the AFC. It might end. So I do think it could be Eagles Chiefs rematch from what 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So and I wouldn't be mad about it. So that's my
No,
power
you're
five.
right. Those two teams, and it is their defense. I mean, and that is what How many times have we heard it, man? That's what wins championships. And those two teams they should meet, but anything can happen in these playoffs.
Especially with the
But
Eagles not getting a first round bye. That's tough.
yeah.
It's tough.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But
No, big time. But all right, well,
all
that's a
right.
good power five. I like that, man. I like it.
Let's thank our sponsors real quick. Well, I appreciate it. Thank our sponsors. We have 336 Realty, 336realty.com. Been with us since the beginning. Home buying needs. They got you covered. Home buying, selling, anything you need. Ryan Carney's great. 336realty.com. Surf Hippie Fishing for all your fishing needs, apparel, tournaments, gear. They got it all. Surfhippiefishing.com. And then Elite Performance Chiropractic. Owner Jeremy Phillips. He's the doctor there, played in the NFL. He's great, former guest on the show as former NFL player. Two great locations, Greensboro and Winston-Salem. Who you got, Johnny?
I got Imperial Marketing Solutions, Jimmy Snowberger up there in New York, and a Commanders fan. He is excited. But Jimmy, if you're listening, stop texting me. I know the Commanders are good. I'll get them in there sometime. But he specializes in the sales of reconditioned Dell, IBM, and HP IT hardware, laptops, desktops. They're like brand new. You give him a call at 315-345-8349. Salsaritas, which is located at the Palladium in High Point and in Greensboro over at the Target Shopping Center. They got a food truck. Call for all your catering needs. Stop in and see them. Just one of the better restaurants that I know you enjoy the heck out of them as well.
I do.
Estate Jewelry and Loan, my friend Brian Demore. If you need to sell jewelry, diamonds, watches, or coins, my good friend Brian will give you trusted advice and personalized service. He's a good man over there. Go to Estate Jewelry and Loan. They're over on 2511 Battleground Ave, or you can visit them on their website at estatejewelryloan.com. And then we got our newbies here, physical therapy and balance centers. That's physical with an F. It's Fyzical. Please look them up. Physical therapy and wellness specializes in innovative treatments of balance and orthopedic conditions. Our friend David Grantham has personalized physical therapy, fall prevention programs, and pain management. And he's offering a free 15-minute balance screening right now to anyone if they call 336-500-8503, and they are located over on Battleground Ave. And then we got one more, Shank and Torrance Insurance, that I have used for the past 15 or 20 years. They're located in Greensboro, but they serve the entire Triad and state. Brian Torrance specializes in personal insurance, including auto, homeowners, and life insurance. Give my friend Brian a call at 336-310-1320. He will take care of all your insurance needs.
And you want to be a sponsor on the podcast, email Johnny at sportscarolina@gmail.com. Sportscarolina@gmail.com. Real simple to get you on. We have quite the reach on all the socials and obviously podcast platforms. All right, Johnny came up with Johnny came up with a game. Who do you trust more? It can be quarterback A versus quarterback B, and then we'll debate that.
You got it. Well, let's get started here. Who do you trust more, Jared Goff or Sam Darnold right now? I'll let you go on that.
Right now, it's a toss-up, but I would go with Jared Goff because he has more history. He has more playing time. He's seen more snaps. And I just trust somebody that's been there and has had a tremendous season. He's had such a great someone who's had this good and successful a season as a starting quarterback. No one talks about Jared Goff, and that's a shame. I think I not take anything away from Sam Darnold. His rebirth, he has all the tools, he can make all the throws, and he's proven that this year on a good team for once. But right now, if it came down to they're going to play in the Super Bowl, who do you want? I take Jared Goff. I think he's less likely to fold under pressure.
That's hard to argue. Sam Darnold has proven that he is a true. I think he's a franchise quarterback. Okay, yeah. And I think from what I saw in the locker room after the game, and they treated him like he was king. Okay, and he's a free agent after this year. And there was talk about him leaving. Okay, Detroit letting him go because they, drafted what's his name from Michigan.
Oh, J.J. McCarthy, Minnesota, yeah.
You got to sign Sam Darnold. Now he's proven. He's done his time in the NFL. He knows what it takes to succeed and what can screw you up, man. I mean, he is finally at that level. But I agree with you. Jared Goff, man, his experience, he's been doing it for a few years, and nobody talks about this guy, man. He's, 33 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, gets it done. He's leading that team. I got to lean toward Jared Goff as well. And it's a good matchup, but I wanted to put those two together because Sam Darnold should be in the same discussion as Jared Goff. What do you think?
This season, 100%. Yeah. The fact that he's not getting MVP talk is surprising. Look at his numbers, Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
I mean, they're incredible.
Fantastic. All right, my next one. Ooh, this is going to be a good one, man. We might need an hour and a half on this one. Lamar. Who do you trust more, Lamar Jackson? Now, let me say this: who do you trust more in the playoffs? Okay,
Okay.
Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen?
All right. Am I going first?
You go
I,
first.
I would say in the playoffs, neither. But
Oh
in the
no!
playoffs, neither. They seem to come up the smallest in the playoffs. I would say Josh Allen, I do trust more. It took a miracle on the Chiefs' part on the division round, I think 2 years ago. They took the lead with like, was it 17 seconds or 12
13
seconds?
seconds.
13
13
seconds.
stinking seconds.
That's on the defense. That's on the special team. That's on the defense.
Yeah,
They should have been on to the AFC Championship game and more than likely the Super Bowl. So that case, Lamar Jackson, for whatever reason, they misused him against the Chiefs last year in the playoffs. He never ran the ball. He
yeah,
never ran the ball. It's like there's always opportunities, and it's like, okay, he's become a better pocket quarterback, which I appreciate this year, like more so than ever. But there's opportunities for him to run to extend plays, and I felt like they had drilled in his head, don't run, and that's kind of gone. They've tried going back on that this year. He's running, he picks his spots better, but he comes up really small in the playoffs. I mean, his numbers in the playoffs are nowhere close to his regular season numbers. I go with Josh Allen, but
yeah.
it's fairly close though.
Fairly close. That's a good little combo there. Um, Lamar Jackson puts up numbers. His numbers are crazy good. Okay, but that's regular season. I mean, he's got 39 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Man,
That's
that's
crazy.
off the charts. But I said playoffs, and he hasn't proven a damn thing in the playoffs yet. Until he proves that he can do something, I might lean that way. But at least Josh Allen has been to that AFC championship and had it in his back pocket until 13 seconds and Patrick Mahomes. But I got to go with Josh Allen until Lamar proves me wrong in the playoffs. So I hate to say it, we're going to agree on that one too. Josh Allen is my pick. Next one, and I'll go first on this. Baker Mayfield or CJ Stroud. Okay.
Okay.
Huge fan of CJ Stroud. His rookie year was off the charts last year, and he's still having a good, solid season. Not as good as last year. He's kind of run into a couple little blips here and there. It's not even competitive on this one for me. Baker Mayfield, who I am a Baker Mayfield fan, he's putting up numbers. He's doing what a number one pick in the draft should be doing, and he's got that Tampa. He's thrown Tampa Bay on his back. I got to go with Baker Mayfield, especially. I mean, he had that big game yesterday. I know it was against the Panthers, but the Panthers have been playing good football the last 3 or 4 weeks.
They
But he
have.
threw 5 touchdowns and whatever, 400 yards. But he's got 39 touchdowns, but he does have 15 picks. He's kind of like that Brett Favre type guy,
Right.
gunslinger. But I got to go with Baker on that over CJ Stroud. What are your thoughts?
I mean, that's another team you don't want to meet in the playoffs if they can secure the NFC South.
Yeah,
You don't want to meet Tampa Bay. I don't care who you are. Um, yeah, I think CJ Stroud, I would probably been a little bit more of a toss up until I watched the Texans play. Was it on Christmas or I saw him play whatever the recent game was,
yeah,
and he was missing open throws with a clean pocket. Even the commentators are like, "What is going on with him?" I mean, missing simple, airmailing balls, throwing them short behind receivers, and he's a sophomore slump. And in their offense, their weapons, they've had a couple injuries throughout the year. They haven't had like a cohesive receiving core for most of the season,
yeah,
but he's regressed big time. So yeah, I trust. Mayfield has had that where everyone didn't believe in him. It's like he's kind of going the reverse of Mayfield. He came in as number one pick. People were like, he should have been the number one pick. And then he didn't look like the number one pick at 2 or 3 different stops. He looked okay with the Rams towards the end. And the Tampa Bay gave him a chance, and he's proven people wrong, kind of like Sam Darnold,
yeah,
with a good system. And you have a good
yeah,
coaching and a good organization. Wow, these guys with talent can do something. So yeah, I definitely CJ Stroud. Last year, I would have trusted CJ Stroud more,
yeah,
but no, yeah, I don't think it's even close. I think Baker
yeah.
Mayfield.
So happy for Baker, man. I love it. But I don't want to play him. You're right. I don't want to play him either.
Nope.
Okay, we got a couple more here, and I'm leaving out Patrick Mahomes, and the only reason why I'm leaving him out, I mean, the two-time, he's won the last two Super Bowls. He's in a class by himself. We can't even compare him with another quarterback right now because of
Yeah, in the
everything that
playoffs,
he's
yeah,
done.
you're gonna pick him every time. Yeah.
Exactly. Justin Herbert or Jaden Daniels. I'll let you go first.
Oh, oh! If it's Justin Herbert's rookie year, Justin Herbert has an underrated rookie. Look at his numbers his rookie year. He
Yeah,
put up
but
huge numbers, over 4,000 yards, low interceptions, high touchdowns. Um, the Harbaugh has hurt Herbert's career as far as a pocket quarterback, as far as their system. He's a run first
yeah,
guy, low risk when it comes to throwing the ball down the field. So to me, kind of mismanaging, and I think Harbaugh's a great coach, mismanaging the talent that is Justin Herbert. When I watch the games, he'll have, some games 20 attempts and 160 yards passing. I'm like, what are they doing? And the score, they end up winning. And I guess you want to win, but it's like 17-14. It's these boring, like Big
but
Ten slugfest.
it's
So
running game and defense. So I mean, I understand what you're saying
yeah,
that
I mean it's
Harbaugh's
it's
yeah.
it's it's they're going to make the playoffs. It looks like, and that's another team that plays ugly. You don't want to play, but they're not explosive. They should be more explosive with Justin Herbert. But as it stands right now, Jaden Daniels, I trust him more in big moments besides Patrick Mahomes than anybody, because statistically this year, like I mentioned earlier, no one is more accurate, and no one has more come from behind victories, fourth quarter touchdowns, and overtime touchdowns. He added another one to. He has more fourth quarter touchdowns in the last 30 seconds since the NFL merger with four, and it changed last night till five. He has five in the last 30 seconds. He has the most fourth quarter touchdowns under 30 seconds than any player in the history of the NFL. He's a freaking rookie, and he doesn't have a lot of weapons. They had a guy last night, Zacchaeus. You ever heard of this guy? Who's Zacchaeus? He had like 8 reset. He did have a ball hit him in the helmet that could have lost him the game. And he dropped it. Then it led to overtime. But McLaurin is a beast. Other than that, you got an older Zach Ertz who played great last night, but older. And then they're throwing. Zacchaeus had 12 targets. Who's Zacchaeus? And so he's doing it with less too. And so I trust Jaden Daniels more than anyone on this list right now.
Do you look at anything besides the Washington Commanders website? I mean, you know everything about this Commanders. I mean, they're right down to the detail, man. I thought I was an Eagle fan. You are crazy with this Jaden Daniels, but
Well, the thing
but
is,
I back you up because it's all true. It is. It is.
yeah, because
But
it's like I want to say take out the being a fan of the Commanders, which is hard to do. But I look at the stats, and I'm blown away. I mean, he's doing things that veterans don't do in the fourth quarter in overtime. He
you're
has
right.
that clutch gene. He doesn't get rattled. He threw it. What I liked yesterday, I didn't like it. He threw a pick. Um, they were driving. They're in the red zone. They had the linebacker. I forget for Atlanta. He's had an incredible year, like 134 tackles, and he goes to blitz, and he pretended he was going to blitz, and he backed off last second. Daniels didn't see him. Just threw it right to him. Interception, killed the drive. Immediately put himself, said, "My bad, my bad."
Yep.
Next
Yep.
next drive, he goes like 8 for 8. They score a touchdown. You can't teach that. You can't teach
Yeah.
that. Some
Yeah.
people have it, and he has it.
He
I
knows.
like him. I'm just glad he's on my team for once. Washington has a history of having one and done quarterbacks if they're any good at all, and
Yeah.
so I'm happy for it. But I mean, yeah.
So you're taking Jaden for sure.
Yep.
I'm going to go just the opposite, and nothing against Jaden Daniels. And I'm thinking the playoffs. Okay, I'm going playoffs. Jaden has had an I mean, we're talking about it. Incredible regular season. Justin Herbert is on a team that is controlled, man. Like you kind of just mentioned it. He's got 21 touchdowns, 3 interceptions because he doesn't have to throw it 35 or 40 times. He's got a running game, a defense, and just the system. He's going by the system. Um, Joe Montana went by his system. Joe Montana didn't put up huge numbers, but he had, he went with the system and played the game out and always had a good defense. And, we can mention a couple other guys. That is sort of what's reminding me of this Justin Herbert. So I'm going to play it cool here. Just because I'm thinking of the playoffs, Jaden might have. It might be a different ball game in the playoffs for him. So I'm going to lean toward, and just by a hair, I'm going to go by with Justin Herbert as the one I trust in the first game of the playoffs this year.
We can't do the podcast together anymore.
Justin Herbert,
No,
just because of the system.
you trust the Chargers more than you trust. Okay, I like Herbert,
Well,
but
that's
I
it.
don't know.
I'm trusting the Chargers, but I'm trusting him running that ship because of Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah,
That's
and he
all.
doesn't throw, and he doesn't make mistakes. So I mean, he is somebody that you can rely on not to make mistakes.
So
All right,
now
who else?
I'm opening it up here after putting them over Jaden Daniels. Our last one here: Jordan Love or Jalen Hurts.
You want me to go first?
No, I guess I better because you just went first, and my God,
All
you
right.
took what 17 minutes talking about Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, when you said this is going to be a shorter podcast, I was like, you have 5, this or that. So that's going to take 20 minutes right there. Yeah.
Jalen Hurts or Jordan Love. I mean, I think it's you know what I'm going to lean toward. Jalen Hurts has had more big games and has done a lot more. His system's good. He can pass when he has to pass. He's got Saquon Barkley. But Jordan Love has had a heck of the last couple of years, and in this season, he had a couple little injuries that kind of hindered him a little bit, but he is back now, and he really does look comfortable in that system and on the field. But I got to go Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's got the Eagles, he's got the defense, he's got Saquon Barkley behind him, and he's got, what's his face? Oh my God, our receiver that you
AJ
say.
Brown.
AJ Brown. It's he's got more weapons, I guess, and he knows how to handle it right now. And they're the top team. Nothing against Jordan Love. He's outstanding. I think he's going to have a lot of good years ahead of him, but he's not ready yet. So I'm going to take Jalen Hurts over Jordan Love.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Hurts 2 years ago. This wouldn't even be a discussion. I mean, you had the Chiefs dead to rights in the Super Bowl. It was a back and forth game, but certainly the Eagles could have easily won that game. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a penalty that people complain about, and it was the defensive back said, yeah, pass interference. But so I mean, it could have easily gone the other way, and Jalen Hurts would be the Super Bowl champion, but he's not.
Yep.
And I don't like the way he's played this year. I mean, I like him. I think he's extremely talented. I think it seems like he hasn't been consistent as a thrower, as a passer. And when playoffs, yes, defense. Well, up until recently, it's really been people who can throw the ball, but it does defense, and you can control the ball with running, and they will be able to do that. And he's part of the run package. But I don't like the up and down inconsistency from game to game. One game he has 115 yards passing. The next game he has 270 yards passing.
It's because of the running game. I mean, that is the only reason, man. Seriously. I mean, if you're going to game...
If anything, it should give him an opportunity to have more yards passing because it opens up so much more. You have 8 people in the box, the play action pass. There should be people wide open all the time. I don't know. I just don't feel like he's as. I feel that he has regressed this year from 2 years ago.
But when real quick, when the running game when they are gaining 250, even when he runs, because he gains 40 or 50 yards a game, 250, 260 yards a game. The clock is gone, man. The clock is just ticking away. The amount of time. I mean, I think they're averaging like almost 38 minutes or almost 40 minutes per game in possession. And that's the running clock because of the running game, and he doesn't have to pass as much. And like said, in that Super Bowl, obviously the man can pass. Okay, I mean, he threw for almost 400 yards and in this and that, but it's just a different system, different offensive coordinator this year, and a different running back. But I'm sticking up for him. But who do you pick here?
But the thing is this: I think we're getting off on what team you trust more. All right, so if Jordan Love was on the Eagles, will the Eagles be just as successful? I think so. Probably more so.
Oh,
Yeah, I think Jordan Love's a better all-around pocket quarterback.
ouch. Okay,
I,
okay.
I, I think so. I think I get blinded by Jalen Hurts is great, but I get blinded by how athletic Jalen Hurts is and the fact that he can extend plays, which is so important. Jane Daniels does it, Lamar Jackson does it, freaking Drake May does it. You want to
Yeah,
have that in quarterback play, at least even if they're not going to run, just be able to extend plays. But I just don't think the stats back up Jalen Hurts where he is now. And Jordan Love, to me, I trust him more. Um, I think if Jalen Hurts went to Green Bay, I think they'd be close to the same, but I don't. Maybe they wouldn't be as good, and they're in the toughest division in football
yeah,
because of the pocket plays that have to be made. So, and he has Josh Jacobs, but his numbers are better. I mean, Josh Jacobs is a good running back, but Jordan Love has better numbers than Jalen Hurts this year. I don't know.
yeah.
It's close, but I picked Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love, take the teams out of it. If I was going to start a franchise today, and I have Jalen Hurts or Jordan Love, I'd pick Jordan Love.
Okay, good. Hey, I like your opinion. I respect your opinion.
I don't respect your last one, but the other ones are
Well,
fine.
well, I'm glad we're not agreeing on everything, man. The show would go down to you know what, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Well,
But
we want to do a
but
shorter show today just because of the holidays, but
it doesn't happen. It doesn't
no, we
happen.
got there's too much to talk about. The NFL is king. I mean, we could have done well. I guess we did do a little bit of MVP talk, but I mean, there's a million things to talk about. All right, well, good shows for the year. We're going to do new stuff in the new year as well, and I'm excited about it.
Well, I want to wish everybody a new year, a New Year's, what that's tomorrow night. And I just want to throw out here at 12:17 a.m. on New Year's Day. Okay, 12:17 a.m. right after midnight. If you have a little whatever soft drink or whatever hard drink that you're doing, put it up in the air and cheers to Johnny O because that's when I was born many years ago. I was the first one born in Syracuse, New York, and I'm gonna give my age away in 1963. Okay,
Wow. Yeah.
12:17 a.m. and it's always an exciting. Well, it used to be a very exciting New Year's Eve because everyone wanted. They just thought it was unbelievable, and I'm just happy I'm still alive after some of those New Year's Eve parties. But
Yeah.
not only New Year's Eve, it's my birthday, and hopefully I make it to another one, man.
Well, happy birthday, and it's been fun doing this podcast towards for the entire football season, and we're going to go strong all through 2025.
Perfect. All right, buddy. Have a good one.
All right, happy New Year.